Dun 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 dun! Welcome to another video. This is Nico. Today we are going to go on an educational journey, and I'm going to share my spiritual path, and I'm going to share an interesting story of how I have come to be here. I believe the story is interesting. I hope you will believe it is as well. I want to step, when I made the first video, I kind of promised that I would do, esoteric knowledge, that I would give powerful insights about how we can change ourselves and change the world, and today is the day that I wish to at least get that started. So my intention today is to share about something very powerful that kind of changed my perception on the world. I grew up in a very kind of like atheistic, agnostic sort of way, and it was a wonderful surprise for me to begin to understand that there are deeper meanings in life that we can understand and access, and brought me out of depression, helped me to understand joy again, and has brought me to here, which I'm very, very pleased to be here. So my spiritual story begins as a seed. That seed grew into a baby boy, that grew into a regular boy, that grew into a young man, that grew into the man that you see here before you today. But when I was young, I was raised in a very secular environment. Neither of my parents really, emphasized religion or spirituality necessarily in like a way where it was part of our daily life. I was very suspicious of the church and organized religion, which I still am today. My belief is that the part of organized religion that I have a problem with is the organized part of it. I believe everybody should choose their own religion, and this whole thing of hierarchies and pass the collection plate is a bunch of bullshit. It's like George Carlin said, God is mad and he needs money, sort of thing. And obviously that's stupid. Any religion that's asking for money needs to be told to go fuck itself. Ha ha ha. It gives me great joy to say those words. So as a result, I kind of traveled through life not really knowing what was going on, not having a whole lot of meaning, kind of hedonistic, kind of very egocentric. I had problems with my family and integrating into a new family when my dad remarried, these sort of things. Growing up as an only child, it seems like everything is about you, and then all of a sudden you're the middle of five and are being told things like sometimes you just need to fall in line, and really misguided attempts at guidance of like, be a leader, not a follower. And then the next day it's like, just fall in line. Sometimes you need to just fit in, and, sometimes be a leader, but not always, and these things. And needless to say, the point is that it was very confusing for me. However, one day, when I had graduated from college and I had come back home, I'm sitting with my friend. I'm at his house, and he went away for a while. I was doing something, and I was peeking at his bookshelf, and one particular book caught my eye, and I started looking at it, and it was this book. And it had a very interesting cover. It had an interesting design. I started flipping through it, and I started reading it, and I found that I ended up reading like the first 100 and something pages of it in the first sitting. And it was very fascinating. It had concepts that I had never heard before. And it was basically saying that our connection to spirituality is governed by the laws of geometry, which is a very interesting and scientific approach to spirituality that I had never heard before. And it started talking about this stuff called sacred geometry, which I had never seen before, and it showed me this design, which I'm sure many of you recognize now. This is the pattern of the flower of life, and is the basic creation pattern of existence. And I started to read this book. It told me it had some very fascinating concepts about alternative history, ancient Sumeria, talk about some of this Zecharia Sitchin sort of stuff, talking about secret rooms underneath the Sphinx, and initiation chambers in the pyramid, and stuff like this, and how the entire Giza pyramid complex is based on very precise geometries related to the Phi and Fibonacci spiral ratios. Machu Picchu, all of the sacred sites around the world are connected to a grid that is based on sacred geometry on this planet. Now, I encourage everybody to take everything with a grain of salt and use their best reasoning and intellectual capacities to evaluate this sort of stuff. And I did, and I continued to. And the more I looked at it and the more I evaluated, the more I said, hey, this is pretty fucking spot on. If you draw the flower of life with your hands, maybe with a compass to help get the circles right because it's kind of hard to draw perfect circles freehand. You start to understand that these relationships and the ratios, the 3, 4, 5 triangles, the right triangles. Pythagoras talks a fair amount about the Greek mystery schools of Pythagoras and Platonic solids and these sort of things. You start to understand that there's deep levels of meaning to this stuff. So I wanted to talk about this today and talk about what my experience with this is and how this has informed my current spiritual understanding. So within the Flower of Life pattern that I showed earlier, we see some other patterns come out. We have our Seed of Life, very basic. We have the Tree of Life, which I would take a moment to comment on. The Tree of Life coming out of the Flower of Life is the basis for Kabbalah. If you have any interest in Kabbalah, you must know and study the Tree of Life very, very well. The Tree of Life has 10 Sephirot, which represents 10 emanations of energy. I can do many videos on Kabbalah and the emanations of energy, the 22 paths of tarot, corresponding to the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Maybe you know something about the Bible code, that there can be powerful understandings gleaned from the ancient Hebrew that the original Torah was written in. Very interesting discussion, not so interesting to me, but I mean, interesting in its own way. The Tree of Life corresponding to the 22 high arcana of tarot. If you wish to know anything about tarot, you must study the Tree of Life and the 22 pathways thereof. Occult and ceremonial magic of the 21st century, the Golden Dawn, Hermetic Order, the AA, the not Alcoholics Anonymous, the Astrum Argentum of Aleister Crowley, these sort of things. Very interesting. When you go far enough down the ceremonial magic, it's really hard for people to tell whether you're a good witch or an evil witch, because a lot of this stuff has to do with the experience of being a human being. You get into sexual magic of various kinds, channeling the energy, facing fear, death magic. The last initiation is death, my friends. Enjoy your life. We're all doing it. We have to have courage to walk through fear, and when death comes to us, we will greet it as a good friend. Everybody freak out. He's talking about death. Yeah, it's true. The resurrection, Christ, the Christ consciousness of being able to sacrifice your physical body for the benefit of the world. These are powerful archetypes and ways that energy moves, which I have found to be true. I fucking believe in resurrection. I'm excited for it. It's going to be fucking cool. You die and the story's over. But guess what? You come back better than ever. Yay! The Fruit of Life contains 12 informational systems. Really, I just want to recommend this book because it changed my understanding of spirituality, and I think it can be helpful for others. I cannot share all the information in that book in this one video. Read it, understand it, accept it if you dare. The Fruit of Life, very interesting. Metatron's Cube comes out of the Fruit of Life, this image here. Out of Metatron's Cube, we get the 5, or rather 6, Platonic solids. Sphere, cube, tetrahedron, icosahedron, octahedron, dodecahedron, which are basically the 6 forms that create all of life. DNA spirals, crystal, all the shapes of crystals. Basically, everything in existence is some combination of these 6 shapes. Very fascinating and interesting. I recommend that you read the book and go into it. So that's basically what I wish to say. I also wish to do a video. I'll do a short follow-up video on the 7 Hermetic Principles of the universe and how these have influenced my life. There's a very interesting book as well that I found. It's called The Lost Teachings of Atlantis by the Children of the Law of One. I'm not going to talk too much about it. It's pretty... basically, it just says that what the first Hermetic law says is the law of mentalism. All is one, all is in the mind. It's very interesting for me to share this information because on a deep intrinsic level, I know that I'm speaking to a mirror. The external reality mirrors the internal reality. You and I are one. We always have been one. It's all an illusion. But we get to work within that illusion. And so honestly, like for me to do this, I'm making myself vulnerable to criticism and stuff that I otherwise wouldn't have to, of people saying, hey, you know, crazy esoteric mushroom taking hippie, you know, and I am pleased to be vulnerable in that space, and I'm pleased to humble myself to whoever is watching and offer this information in love and in service so that we can understand joy to a higher degree. I'm doing the best I can out here from my friends and my family, and I wish for you to recognize that. Some days I feel like I'm not doing my best. I had a very challenging day yesterday and the day before. Just powerful emotional stuff. I feel disconnected from my path. I feel just overwhelmed by some difficult emotions. Trying to creep in on me, like sadness and depression and stuff that I've seen in the past, and I'm so glad to have the perspective to not let it. You know, I have some stuff in my physical energy right now that's just like, it's trying to come back into balance. It has to do with alcohol. I was drinking the other night, drank too much, and didn't bother me. Like, it's fun sometimes. We made a cool video, but it really brought down my energy for the next day, for the next 2 days. I had a really good sleep last night, had nice dreams. I feel back to normal. Really makes me cognizant of the fact that some things will bring us down in life, some things will bring us up. Foods, yoga and meditation, specific substances. I am very clear that there are some substances I think will bring our vibe up. Like from the mushrooms, I felt great, and I feel very connected with the path, with Mother Earth, these sort of things. Some of these other substances, prescription, pharmaceutical, alcohol, like, you know, I think I'm done here. You know, I never, ever, ever, ever have fucked with prescriptions or pharmaceuticals. Make that very, very clear. I think they're poison. I think they're intended to keep people sick and probably kill them. But just alcohol, like, you know, catching a little buzz and with your friends as a social thing, like if you can share in the experience and make it a ceremonial thing. I have found fun in the past, but actually just I'm coming to the realization that it is a substance that deteriorates the soul, that it breaks down our etheric energy fields around us. Alcohol is a very powerful solvent. This should give us a clue about what it's doing to our spirit and these sort of things. And so it's been a struggle, but very interesting. I accept these challenges because it gives me a chance to test my faith, test my connection to the Most High, these sort of things. Like, not for a moment do I ever doubt that, like, I love my life and I love myself and I'm very pleased to be alive and walk this path, and that I wish to make the world a great place and share this with others. But this energy of sadness, this energy of not so nice. But I did have a purpose in sharing that because I want to talk about emotions a little bit. When you start to understand the way this energy is flowing and what's really going on, we understand the power of our emotions. Maybe we've all been in a place where we're just riding high and we can't lose, we can't fail. You know, this is because the external reality is reacting to our emotions. And same thing when you're depressed, you just can't see a way out of the hole. And I had a conversation with a lady yesterday. You know, it's this paradox. Like, the only way to get out of depression is to not be depressed. At some point, you just get mad at it, or you just say, "Fuck it." Like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm gonna be pleased. So I want to finish this up. I hope this is a helpful video. I'm not as focused as I don't care to be focused, honestly. Like, I just wish to ramble and share. In humble service to people. Hopefully we find this useful. Read the book. Read The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life. It gives meditation, very powerful meditation that hopefully will take us to the next dimension. If you guys are interested in going to the next dimension with me, I will be there with bells on. And I cannot wait. And that is the purpose of this whole thing. I intend to bring forth heaven on earth for the benefit of all. Yeah! Okay, cool. Rawr, I'm having fun. I'm very pleased to share. I hope this is nice for everyone. I wish to finish this video with a little piece of magic that I have learned along the way, which is very cool. When I began to realize that the universe responds to our intention and to our consciousness, and that our emotions are a very powerful motor for making magical things manifest and wondrous experiences happen, I came across this piece of magic which I would like to share with you. When I was hitchhiking this year, we were going from Barcelona to Poland, and we had no real idea of how we would get there. And we're sitting on the row with our thumbs out, and sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not working. And I was with my friend, and I shared this, hey, we know how this works, we know how the energy works, just feel good, and eventually it will happen. And we find this, with hitchhiking, when you're carefree, and you're just kind of going with it, and you're having a good time playing guitar on the side of the road, you get a ride. When you're like, oh, we need a ride, and mope, 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 you sit there for many hours. So me and my friend, I would always look at him, and I would say, whenever we're in a place, just, you know what, just feel better and good things will start to happen. So we would look at each other, and we would do this. This is the magic I wish to share with you. Yeah, right, full power. And then magical things happen, and it's wonderful. Put your best energy into the world. If you can't, if you're having a hard time feeling it, fake it till you make it. Push it through your heart. Let's be excited. Let's be experience joy to be alive. I'm very pleased to be alive. I'm very thankful. I hope my life lasts forever, and I hope that we can dance in infinity together. I don't know. I've had sad times. I take this seriously. This is my intention. I wish to be respected in the way that I'm delivering this this information. I wish to be respected in my choices, to be free, and to make my own choices as I walk this path in life. I think I wish that for everyone else. Sometimes I step out there and I like to speak and I like to get excited and go for it. And I've been punished for that in my life many times. Since I was a small child, I was the one that would be excited and exuberant. And the message I got over and over is, no, fall in line, step back, chill out. And always it was in love. Always I just wished to have a good time and be excited. And I wish to apologize to all of you that you have not gotten the full power, Nico, that you could have had and that you could have deserved. And I wish for us to all take a moment to inspect ourselves of whether we're hating or we're congratulating. When someone has the courage to be themselves and to be expressive and dance like nobody's looking, or take off your clothes and blow kisses at the sky, or whatever it is, whatever the case is, to step out of your comfort zone and show courage, I think we should support that, these sort of things. And I love life. I love myself regardless. I don't require the validation of others, but I wish for people to consider these things, because everybody has a special gift. And if we're in a mode of criticism, we're not going to get those special gifts from the people of the world, and it will be a shame for all of us. So this is a vulnerable thing for me to share this information and to step out here. I don't have to do this. I don't have to come online and do this. I understand the way this reality works. It's unity. All I have to do is love to the best of my ability in every moment, and things will become wonderful and great. I'm doing this because I wish for you to feel the way that I feel, and to walk this path with me. I can't wait for the party at the end of time, when everybody that I've ever met is all there together and we've all got the smiles on our faces. I had a dream last year at the Rainbow Gathering in Spain. I had a very nice campsite on the top of the hill, and I was looking out over where the sun the moon was setting there. I think the sun was setting there too, to the west, yeah. And very beautiful. And I had this dream. It was so wonderful. At the Rainbow Gatherings, we come for the meals. Everyone comes down at the meal, and before we eat, we all hold hands in a big circle around the main fire. We sing songs, various songs. Thank you for the food. It's healing us. All these things to create this vibe and create this intention of healing. And then we Om, and Om is a powerful seed sound that creates healing, related to maybe any musicians out there familiar with the 440 hertz versus 432 hertz. I believe that 432 hertz is in tune with Om and is in tune with healing, whereas 440 was a standard that most people will agree was kind of brought in by the Nazis in the Second World War. 440 is kind of disharmonic. It makes you feel uncomfortable and causes non-healing. Versus where I believe 432 is more of a healing vibe. This is a discussion. It's not a clear solution on this. I don't care to debate it. But I wish to say that Om is a powerful mantra, and I don't think any one with spiritual acumen would debate that. And we say Om, and then after the Om, everyone sits and eats together and shares in the nourishment. Very nice. And I had this dream, so pleasant, so wonderful. I had this dream that the whole world was in one big circle, all holding hands. And I was just looking around, and I saw my family, and I saw my friends, and I saw everybody around this circle, the entire world holding hands, and we were all looking at each other like, whoa, like, yeah, we did it, like, wow, yeah. And people were just celebrating and going crazy, just, full power, wow, we did it, we all figured out how to get along, yay, just complete disbelief, wow. So I am super glad to be full power fucking insane that that I believe that this is possible, and that I believe that we can do it together, and I wish to inspire, and I wish for you all to be inspired. It is not a rational belief that peace can exist in this world at this time, and I don't fucking care. It is not a rational belief. It's not. There's a leap of faith that is required for this to happen. The economic system, capitalism is not going to solve it. It cannot solve it. Cannot solve it. The only way we're ever going to get there is through giving, sharing, caring, compassion, love, golden rule, treat others the way you wish to be treated. We are all one. That's the only way. And the only way that can happen is by establishing faith, that we're part of a system that is outside of our control, yet nonetheless is benevolent to us. We don't have control over to grow a tree. A human being does not have the power to grow a fruit tree or crops or any of these things. No, never has, never will. Human being has the power to put a seed in the earth and provide the conditions for nature to grow those things. So we give thanks, we give abundance. Very quickly to finish up, I'll give an example. It is very clear to me that the law of the universe is order rather than chaos, and that we're growing into higher, more interesting, and more complicated forms of order. If the law of the universe were chaos, and that everything is fucked and we're going in an inevitable path to destruction, then the cells of our body and molecules of our cells and the atoms of the molecules could not hold themselves together in an orderly fashion and would be flying off in all different directions in every moment. The simple fact that we exist, to me, is proof of the order of a higher purpose and a higher creator. And I understand that it's very controversial and possibly unpopular to say that you believe in a higher power in 2019. I've experienced it. I've seen it. I love it, and I know it to be true. And I wish for you to be able to feel the vibe of what I'm sharing with you and accept it rather than feel the need to argue with it. I have seen my truths and I've understood them from the core of my being. It's something that I've understood from the moment I came into existence, and I think it's something that's at the center of us all. And if you scrape away the ego, you will find that truth there, and it will bring you joy. Okay. With deep love, abundance, joy, compassion, and hope for an amazing future that we can all share together, this is Nico, giving you my best in this moment. Love and light. Holla back.